our next picture will be baby Jesus in the manger. You can see that there's a lot of coloring that has a direction like we were talking about before, and the direction of the coloring actually helps us to see how that star is shining. So that's pretty cool. We'll get into that. Where do you think we're going to start in this picture? Well, we are going to start in the middle. In a lot of pictures, the middle's a great place to start. If you start in the middle, then you can build around it, and it works out really well. Actually, in this one, the middle, or the main focus, of course, is baby Jesus' face, and there's a whole lot of things going on around it. But the whole picture builds off of baby Jesus' face. So that's where we're going to start. Now I want you to take a look, though. Is it right in the middle? Let's see. If we folded the paper in half, I'm not really going to fold it, but if we folded it in half, it would be about right there. Up, and look, it's not in the middle, is it? It's actually a little bit above the middle. So that's where we're going to start. We're going to think about where the exact middle of the paper is. Middle of the paper is right about here, but we're going to make that circle for baby Jesus' face a little bit higher than the middle. Now the circle you want to make is going to be maybe a little smaller than a doorknob, bigger than a quarter, smaller than a doorknob. Got that? Okay. Now we're going to color the face, but we're going to color it kind of lightly because we don't want to have a big buildup of crayon to have to go through when we add on his eyes and his mouth. If it's on too thick, we're going to have trouble getting the eyes and the mouth to show up. So color it lightly. Oh, and I used apricot. You could use apricot for skin, and you could use brown for skin. I don't think any of the other ones here would work well for skin. If you don't have apricot, you can use orange. Orange can be used for skin if you do it very, very, very lightly. Watch out for yellow orange. Yellow orange doesn't make as good a skin color as orange. I'm going to show you on the back. If you were to use orange, you would do very lightly, very, very lightly, because you don't want it to look suntanned. If it was too dark, it would look suntanned. And if you color really, 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 really light, really, really light, orange is okay if you don't have apricot or peach or any other ones that look okay for skin. You gotta go very light though. Or you can use brown. You can use brown lightly. It would depend on what kind of skin color you were looking for. All right. In this picture, we're going to make baby Jesus' eyes blue. Baby Jesus' eyes were probably not blue, but from where the area of the world that he lived, they were probably brown, but we're going to use blue just because it looks cute in our picture. We'll put 2 small dots like that. After that, get your pink, and we're going to give him some sweet little baby cheeks of pink. Now again, you don't want it to look like bubblegum or anything like that, so don't go too dark. Just light pink so that he looks like a smiley, happy baby. And then with your red, now be careful, some of these crayons look a lot like red, like this one. Violet red looks a lot like red when you go to pick one up, but it's going to come out kind of hot pink purpley, and you don't want that. You want the one that says just plain red. Rojo or rouge. Rojo is red in Spanish, and rouge is red in French. And then we can put a little smile. Oh, how sweet. I like this picture already. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is baby Jesus's little blanket. And let's use cerulean. Nope, tell you what, let's use blue, regular blue. And we're going to first make a little curve, just like that. You're going to go wider than his head, not way, way wide, but just a little bit wider than his head. And then we're going to make a little curve on the edge, and a little curve on the edge like that. And then we're going to put another line like that, straight across the bottom. Now, from this corner coming this way, it's going to stop right in the middle of here. We're going to make a curve going this way. And from the middle of this curve down to this corner, we're going to make another curve. Make sure it curves. There we go. Yeah, there he is, wrapped up. His nice little blanket. Now, get yellow. Yellow. In Spanish, it's amarillo. And in French, it's jaune, maybe? I don't know. I don't know French that well. Okay, so from there, I want you to put a dot above his head, just a little bit over, like that, just to make sure that you get high enough. We're gonna make the halo around his face, so we want it to be kind of the same size as it goes around, same width, same amount of wide as it goes around. So you see about how wide that is, and then that's it's about that much, so about that high from top of his head. You want to put that little dot, and you're going to start at that little dot, and you're going to stay that far away from his head. Just keep staying that far away, making a circle, see, it's staying that far away, and make that circle connect right there, so it makes a good round shape around there. And we're going to color it in, so if you went kind of flat, don't worry about it. You can make it again, because we're going to color it in. All right, then over here, do the same thing. Keep staying that far away while you make the circle. Stay that far away. Stay that far away. Stay that far away. Stay that far away. Go around until you hit where the blanket is again. Now, a halo in pictures of people that are holy, a halo shows people who are looking at the picture who the holy person is. People who are holy or have holy lives don't go around with a yellow circle around the head. It's a made-up thing that artists use to show in a picture that the person with the halo is a person that's a saint or somebody really special and holy. And the halo is just a sign for people who are looking at the picture that that's the holy person. So when you see halos on baby Jesus and Mary and Joseph, they didn't really go around with a big yellow thing around the head. Or sometimes it's shown as a circle. It's just an art way of showing something that you wouldn't be able to know if you didn't have some sign in the picture. Or if you didn't know what the picture was about before you looked at it, you could say, gee, that's a picture of somebody who's holy, because you can see the halo on it. You tell the difference between the picture of just an ordinary picture. Color it in nice and solid. You wouldn't want scribble scratch of a halo. A halo is kind of like a glow or a special sort of like a special effect. But you don't want to see scribbly color lines. So when you color, be sure to color it nice and solidly. we go. I still see some holidays in mine, but let's see if I can get some of them out. Okay, some of my students are better colorers than I am. So if you can color better than I am, go ahead. All right, now, baby Jesus is in a manger. Now you might think that a manger is a special kind of baby bed, but it really isn't. Baby Jesus was born in a stable. His parents were going from one town to another town because they had a special count going on. They had to go back to where they lived, where they were born. The men in the family had to take a walk back to where they were born, and it was far from where they lived, but they didn't have cars. So if you had a donkey or a horse, you could ride it, or a camel or something like that. But a lot of people just walked. Mary and Joseph had walked, and when they got there were so many people going to be counted, because the king had said he wanted everybody to go back to where, all the men to go back to where they were born and be counted. And so the towns were full of a lot of people visiting. And all of the places, like the hotels, they didn't call them hotels, they called them inns. And all of the inns were full. All the people, they were closed. They had so many people there that they were full. Well, it just so happened that was the time when Mary was going to have baby Jesus. She didn't know exactly when, you know how that goes. But it just turned out that was when she had baby Jesus, when he was born. So they needed to find a place to at least get out of the cold and everything and be inside. And the only place they could find was a stable, because all the rooms were already filled up with people. So they went outside to the stable. And in the stable, there were little boxes like this that were set up off the ground to put hay in and things for the animals to eat. And so there wasn't a baby bed, so they just made a mattress out of the hay and wrapped little baby Jesus up in some blankets that they had brought with them. And they laid him in the manger, in the animals' feed tray. How about that? I'm sure they kept the animals outside and out of their way, but I think some of the animals might have kept baby Jesus warm too. So anyway, baby Jesus didn't have a baby bed. He was laid in a manger to use for a bed. Okay, so now we're going to draw the manger. So to get this manger going on, let's put a straight line out, not a really big one, a straight line out on each side of the baby in his blankets. Then we're going to make a slant line going down. Okay, we're going to go down a little bit, like that. Then we're going to make a line straight across the bottom like this. So that gives us kind of that little part that the animal's food was in. Okay, now we're going to make a line. We're going to make we're going to make a set of lines that are going to give us these legs. You see, one goes this way, one goes that way. That makes it kind of strong, so that the manger doesn't topple over when the animals eat out of it. So what we're going to do is let's start with some dots to help us know where to go. So let's put a dot here, corner, and a dot a little ways in, like that. And here's the other corner, and let's go a little ways in like that, about the same amount. Okay, now we're going to go from this one, and we're going to slant the line, and we're going to go a little bit past where the end of this is. So let's just go with it. Go like this. And stop. Okay, now we want it to be about that wide, so it's going to be that wide all the way, the whole way that that board goes. So it was about this wide, about from the tip to the end of here on mine. And so about that far away from this end, so it was about this far away, we're going to make a flat line about that size, about the same size as this flat line. Then we're going to go from here, the end of this flat line, to this one, to this corner, like this. So now we have a slanting board that makes that end of the manger. Now, of course, in the back there would be more of them, and we are just going to say that they're being hidden by these. So we're not going to try to draw those. All right, now we're going to do this side. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come this way, slant. Now let's just jump over that one, and we're going to go out. We're going to stop a little farther past where that is. Kind of on the same line that this is. Now we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to say, okay, about that long. Let's put a flat one right here. When the person who built it, they made it flat so it would stand up well. And we're going to go from this corner, jump over that one, meet up with that one. Now, pretty cool, huh? All right. In here, let's make some boards. So we're going to make some boards that this manger was made of, like this. So put some straight lines down, and I'm drawing a little bit dark here because what we're going to do is we're going to draw some wood grain in there. If you look at a piece of wood, it always has little lines in it and all. That's part of how the tree grew. And to make some wood grain, you start with a little dot like that, and then you can make some lines around it and around it like that. You just start with a dot and curve around it. Once you get out a ways, then make another dot and do it again. You can make more than one dot and then make the lines around them, and then you can make the lines kind of go between them like that. And it's a very pretty way to make the wood look woody, like real wood. Next time you're just sitting somewhere quiet and there's nothing to do, and if you can see something that's made of wood, look at all those pretty lines in the wood. Very, very pretty thing, the lines in wood. Sometimes you can even see shapes like faces or things in those lines that nature made. So, here we go. We've got all kinds of lines there. Do that in all of these places. Along here too. And definitely yours and mine won't be exactly alike, just like even mine and mine are not exactly alike. It's not necessary to have the exact same dots or lines in the same spaces, just so that you've got some lines going through there that let you know that the wood has those shapes that you can see. It's called a grain, wood grain. Grain in the wood makes it very interesting to look at. Okay, so there we go. Wood. Now, like I said, there weren't any mattresses, so they had to make it soft for baby Jesus. So they just left some of the hay that was for the animals in there. Now it's just little sticks of straw and light, and so very easily and wispily put some little wisps of hay.